Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I am the Divine One, bringing you yet another assortment. Alright y'all, let's get right into it. I hope you didn't think I was gonna miss today. I hope you did not think I was not gonna be up here giving my commentary about this whole sordid circus mess, MAGA meltdown, because the conservative circus is doing the absolute most this week. Elon Musk is out here playing the double game with DEI policies, the H-1B visas. Vivek Ramaswamy, I'm gonna call him for posterity purposes. For this channel, he will be known as Vivek Ra. We're shortening it. Vivek just learned the hard way that his MAGA pass is missing the proper white background. And Laura Loomer is melting down on social media, proving once again that no amount of filler can smooth over logical inconsistency. What happened? What happened? Hush, child. I was getting to that. Elon Musk and Vivek recently made statements advocating for the expansion of the H-1B visa program to attract highly skilled foreign workers, which has caused significant unrest among MAGA supporters. So buckle up. I have some video, and we're about to break this mess all the way down. Let's go.
Let him cook now. Let him cook. I said let him cook.
Let's just be very clear. There's nothing wrong with people who are not from this country coming here, making a better life, contributing to the American fabric. Okay, that's something I fundamentally believe in. America is a land of the free, home of the brave, all that good stuff that Elon Musk was tweeting about. However, please don't come for Americans. And I would like, let's be very clear, I would like white Americans to stand up. This is your calling card, honey. Where's your banner? Because they coming for you. They said y'all white and lazy. That's crazy.
Well,
that's
what
crazy.
I
and
find
if
is
I said
interesting.
it, y'all would be coming for me.
Well,
I would never say that because that's insane.
That's the point. What you have happening here is the very thing that white folks have said about black people.
I'm sorry. I just want to know, Vivek was born in the U.S.
For generations. Vivek is now saying about white people, and they don't like it for some reason. Oh, y'all not lazy. Y'all not slow. Y'all not stupid. Well, that's what we've been saying for 400 years, and yet here we are. You still want to not read our history or go through our CRTs and all this stuff.
This is why the great Reverend Jesse Jackson talked about the Rainbow Coalition, honey, and people were uniting across the working class, okay? And black people and white folks and Latino folks coming together, because the rich people, they're not here for you, and this is how they let you know, okay? They just let you know. So you want to come on over to the Rainbow Coalition, you come join us.
We have huge breaking news right now. A complete civil war has broken out between MAGA and Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, to the point where Elon Musk is now censoring MAGA influencers on Twitter. Elon Musk went out of his way overnight to strip the verification of a number of top MAGA influencers, including Laura Loomer and others. He also removed all of their subscribers, so they're no longer monetized. They can't make any money. So much for free speech, right? Well, I guess it's only free speech when you don't attack Elon. But MAGA is completely turning on Elon Musk and Ramaswamy because of comments they made about H-1B visas, which are visas that are given out to foreign skilled workers for skilled positions here in the United States for temporary employment. MAGA obviously doesn't want more immigration, but Musk and Ramaswamy note that tech companies rely on H-1B visas. And it's gotten so bad that there is a complete civil war that has broken out right now. And either MAGA influencers are about to be expelled from the party or from the inner circle, or Musk and Ramaswamy are. Comment below your thoughts, spread the word, grab your popcorn, and follow along for all the news you need to know about.
So now, of course, there's lots of speculation about when this relationship might implode. As has happened so many times over the years with Trump's generals and his best people, it all feels kind of inevitable, right? I mean, the thing is, this is not going to be the same, though, as Trump casting aside a Scaramucci or Rex Tillerson. Because Elon Musk is the richest man in the world. He owns a social media megaphone, a platform where he has over 200 million followers. And we just saw the power he wields over the Republican Party. He also has billions of dollars in government contracts. I mean, we're relying on SpaceX rockets to get American astronauts to space and back. This is not an easy relationship to untangle. That's my point. So yes, I mean, this breakup could happen, but if it does, and it may take longer than we suspect, I do think if it does, it's going to be very, very messy.
Well, folks, A MAGA civil war has broken out over on Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, because Elon Musk cannot take any criticism. And right now, Elon Musk has been getting a lot of criticism from right-wing MAGA influencers and other conservative organizations over his recent statements where he said that we actually need to bring in more immigrants into the United States because, in Elon Musk's words, according to something he retweeted, American workers are the R word. So Elon Musk does not have any love for American workers. He thinks we are all stupid and we simply can't do the jobs. So he's called for more immigrants, which is odd because he's from an administration that has said no more immigrants. But, you know, that's what pissed off all of these conservative influencers.
All right, let's talk about this MAGA and MAGA Twitter feud between Trump supporters and Trump allies Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy over this need for visas for skilled tech workers. What's going down?
Yeah. Fascinating. Musk and Ramaswamy supporting that visa, which of course is popular.
Donald Trump's MAGA empire is already imploding, and it looks a lot more like The Empire Strikes Back between Elon Musk and Laura Loomer in this breaking story. You won't believe what just occurred in the last 36 hours and what Elon Musk is once again trying to pull off. And Donald Trump can't do a thing about it except watch his MAGA mania mouthpieces feast on one another. And I'm going to show you that in just a few seconds. If you're not clear on a little bit about Laura Loomer and what Elon Musk said to her that set this whole thing in motion, take a look at this.
Tonight, as President-elect Donald Trump is preparing for a widespread immigration crackdown when he takes office 25 days from now, we're seeing a crack between some of his top advisors and his MAGA base. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are both facing major blowback from their own supporters for not only backing, but encouraging offering more visas to highly skilled foreign workers.
The true setup to all of this are a couple of posts by Musk himself that says, your understanding of the situation is upside down and backwards. Of course my companies and I would prefer to hire Americans, and we do, as that is much easier than going through the incredibly painful and slow work visa process.
I'm referring to bringing in, via legal immigration, the top 0.1% of engineering talent as being essential for America to keep winning.
In this psychotic ping-pong back and forth, MAGA has completely turned on Elon Musk and Doge. This breakup is going to be messy. Whereas at DC_Drano said, how did Doge go from let's cut wasteful government spending to here's why we need to import more immigrants almost overnight? Did I miss something? Yes, we have to remind you, Donald Trump's the guy who claims he's all about America first. And in this breaking story, Elon Musk has gone after one of Donald's lovers, Laura Loomer, and Laura Loomer is calling him out for being the fraud that we should have already known Elon Musk truly is. Just a fraud with a ton of money and a ton of power. Check out this tit for tat while they tear each other down. Here it is. On X, Laura Loomer writes, telling the truth isn't trolling. Read the room at Elon Musk. You bought your way into MAGA 5 minutes ago after Trump almost had his head blown off in Butler. I'm not sure how long it's going to take into this administration, into this presidency, into the 47th of Donald J. Trump. I do know this, however. Every single thing that is likely come out of the mouths of Mr. Trump and all those around him, what you're going to actually wind up witnessing is pretty close to the antithetical opposite. You have been sold a bill of goods, America. You bought it, and now you're likely going to choke on it. Because there are people out there with American kids who have graduated as engineers who won't be able to find a job because there's someone else through Musk's program who's going to get a job and get paid less. This is not funny, but unfortunately, the joke is going to be on you. Do your best to stay calm, talk to others, and as always, stay frosty, because this is going to get really messy after the new year.
Alright, the very same people who cheered for Elon Musk as he bought Twitter are now viciously turning against him on that very platform. And how many times did we try to warn them? Genuinely, how many times did we try to tell MAGA that Elon Musk's interests are not aligned with the interests of the average American, yet Trump supporters refused to listen because Elon was helping Trump. He was leveraging his vast wealth and his ownership of the platform X to make sure that Trump got back into office, but now this entire coalition is imploding on itself, and let me run you down what just happened. Ian Miles Chong tweeted, "It's wild to see MAGA turning against Elon, Vivek, David Sachs, etc. Just wild." And he quoted Laura Loomer. And before I read this Laura Loomer post, we are not taking Laura Loomer's side here. She is doing this for her own selfish, opportunistic reasons, but she is calling Elon Musk out for who he is. She is telling it how it is right now, and that's why Elon Musk gets so triggered. It kind of reminds me of this article that says, "Heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a great point." And it's heartbreaking because you don't know if you should agree with the worst person you know, or if you should just tell them they're a terrible person. That's how I feel when Laura Loomer says this. Is Doge a way to cut spending or redirect the spending towards the pet projects of tech bro billionaires? It's looking like the latter, to be honest. Quote, "Hey, let's convince the peasants that we are saving them money as we enrich ourselves. Then when they find out and speak out, we'll just tell them to ignore it," right? And then Elon Musk responded, "Laura Loomer is trolling for attention. Ignore." And again, Laura Loomer isn't suddenly waking up to the ways of Elon Musk. She's doing this for her own opportunistic reasons because she realized, hey, Elon Musk already helped Trump get elected. Now we don't need him as much. I'm going to see if I can gain power. I'm going to see if I can fill this power vacuum that Elon Musk is currently filling. Because right now, Elon has a lot of power within the Republican Party, and Laura Loomer feels threatened. So then she went absolutely nuclear in the next post. And again, this is not us agreeing with Laura Loomer. It's very much so heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a great point. So Laura Loomer shreds Elon Musk by saying, "Telling the truth isn't trolling. Read the room, Elon Musk. You bought your way into MAGA 5 minutes after Trump almost had his head blown off in Butler. Remember when you voted for Biden and propped up Governor DeSantis because you said Trump was too old? We all know you only donated your money so you could influence immigration policy and protect your buddy Xi Jinping. You pretend like you've made such a sacrifice, an investment, donating to Trump and buying X, but you have only increased your own wealth and the wealth of the companies that you own by practically invading Mar-a-Lago while trying to become Trump's side piece." That is quite rich coming from Laura Loomer, but we'll continue. Isn't that why you wanted so much hands-on control over the spending bill and direct communication with Speaker Johnson? I've been here supporting Donald Trump with the millions of other patriots in MAGA since the beginning, so I actually understand the campaign promises that Trump campaigned on. He campaigned on limiting H-1B visas and decreasing immigration. Donald Trump won because of the forgotten men and women of America, not because of the tech billionaires who cheered when he was deplatformed and jailed and attacked nonstop over the last 8 years. He didn't win because of tech billionaires like you who want to buy influence to jeopardize our national security by selling out to China. P.S. You aren't president. Trump is, and he already has a beautiful wife. I'm not sure what role you're trying to fill, but we voted for Trump, not you. Maybe others are too afraid to talk like this, but I'm not. So it's rough because the top part of her tweet is largely right. Elon Musk bought his way into MAGA so he could increase the wealth of himself and protect his buddy Xi Jinping. Then it turns into kind of just kissing Trump's ass. She says, "I've been here supporting Trump with the millions of other patriots since day one." That's not a flex, Laura Loomer. That is just sad. But to back up for a second, there is currently a civil war going on between the Trump loyalists who have been there since day one, people like Laura Loomer, people like Matt.
You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that. And it's directly related to what you were just talking about. You know, the thing about nationalism, you're totally right. It is like, to use the word nationalism, oh, it's Hitler, it's Hitler. And, you know, Hitler had soup. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have soup. Mm-hmm. Hitler loved dogs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love dogs. So I think we have to move past this. If Hitler did it, it must be bad. There is a core national identity that is the identity of the WASP. And that doesn't mean we can't take anyone else in, a Sri Lankan or a Japanese or an Indian. But the core around which the nation's values are formed is the WASP. We've never had a president who didn't have at least partial English ancestry.
Here's the thing. Do I think this is going to end in a nuclear explosion of all things everybody? Yeah. But Mr. Elon Musk, a free speech absolutist, has limited and suspended Laura Loomer's account on Twitter due to a MAGA civil war going on. Some disagreements on the HP-1 visas have really angered Elon, and he decided that he is not a free speech absolutist. He is a free speech for only him absolutist, and chaos has ensued. I love watching this from afar. I hate that it's going to affect all of us, but it's definitely entertaining to see this civil war arise here in the MAGA community.
Vivek and Elon Musk are going back and forth on Twitter trying to explain why we hire so many skilled immigrants for tech jobs here in the United States, and they're lying. Okay, I've worked in tech now for like 6 years, and I can tell you this is about money. This is about money, okay? Let me explain to you. I know how much my boss makes, the people below me make, how much my friends make at another company. There's a lot of pay transparency. And there's one thing that we all know about Americans is we just generally speaking are a very bold group of people. So when we ask for a raise, we fucking ask for a raise. And when we get hired, we try to push for the most money we can get, okay? That's how we operate. Now, when you're hiring someone from another country, their main objective is to come to the US. Totally fine. But what that means is if they're trying to come to the US, they're not trying to rock the boat. They're not going to ask for more money. They're going to accept, what you originally offer. And I'm making a giant generalization here, but I'm trying to make a point that we should not be trusting Elon Musk or Vivek talking about it's skilled or unskilled. This is about money. Do not let them convince you there are not enough people, or it's our culture, or work hard, blah, blah, blah. That is a lie. This is a billionaire. You don't become a billionaire without penny pinching your money. Stop letting them gaslight you to thinking that this is anything else. This is about money. This is about greed.
What I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college. I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card. You have to be able to recruit these people and keep the people.
I look at the computer say, Floyd said, fuck T.I., fuck Nelly, fuck 50. I'm like, what did he say fuck me for? Nelly fucked your first baby mama, Melissa.
We have some major news. The MAGA civil war continues because one of Donald Trump's closest allies just called Elon Musk a toddler. So last night on social media, Elon Musk was defending his view on H-1B visas and immigration, saying the reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and blank yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. And so Steve Bannon, who's been one of Donald Trump's closest allies even since his first term, responded to Elon Musk saying, someone please notify Child Protective Services. They need to do a wellness check on this toddler. This MAGA civil war continues to get worse. More and more high-profile people in MAGA continue to get involved. It's just all exploding right now. And the really bad news for MAGA is that Donald Trump just took Elon Musk's side. He said, screw his followers, I'm going with Elon and the money. Can't say I'm surprised.
So let's talk about Elon Musk, the self-proclaimed free speech absolutist who's now pulling accounts faster than his rockets can launch, faster than his Tesla Cybertrucks can catch on fire. He's restricting badges, suspending dissent, and calling it necessary moderation. But the truth is, this is the same man who's hiring H-1B visa holders from India en masse while preaching about American excellence, child. The rough translation is he's limiting speech on a platform he claims to have purchased for the promotion of free speech. That lie fell almost as hard as on this year's Tesla sales. Moving right along, Musk is living proof of a contradiction. He loves diversity when it serves his business interests, but the minute DEI policies are mentioned in relationship to race, particularly blackness, he's on the front lines of the anti-woke brigade. It's like saying I support diversity as long as it doesn't involve addressing systemic inequalities or issues regarding equity. Emphasize the necessity of bringing in top engineering talent through legal immigration, comparing it to recruiting star athletes to enhance a sports team's performance. He says these things as if we don't have MIT. Most U.S. colleges have engineering programs. There's no shortage of available talent. What there is shortages of people who are willing to work for pennies on the dollar. I would say that Elon is twisting himself into contortions, but given the recent pictures of a shirtless Elon Musk, nobody would believe you were that athletic. Now let's move on to Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek thought he could finesse the MAGA crowd by calling out American mediocrity. What he failed to realize is that the unspoken rule of white supremacy is mediocrity is protected when it's white mediocrity. Vivek, sweetie, you can't come for average American, a MAGA euphemism for white folks, and think you're still in the club, darling. Vivek argued that since the 1990s, American culture has favored social popularity over academic and technical excellence, leading to talent deficiencies in critical sectors like technology, like medicine, like healthcare, like finance, all of which was the premise for why there was this push and this necessity for the H-1B visa program to begin with. But I think it's time for us to go back down memory lane. The H-1B visa was created as a part of the Immigration Act of 1990, signed into law by President George H.W. Bush on November 29, 1990. The visa program allows U.S. employers to hire foreign workers in specialty occupations that require theoretical or technical expertise, such as in IT, engineering, science, and medicine. The H-1B program replaced earlier non-immigrant work visa programs and became effective on April 1st, 1990. Its framework has undergone multiple amendments since its inception, including changes to quotas, eligibility requirements, and employer responsibilities. Newsflash, Vivek, that's always been the case in the United States. When did you get here? He said Americans don't study enough math and science. That's why we need immigrants. And white conservatives heard that as, you're calling us lazy. Twitter, or rather X, lit up like a Tesla truck freshly off the lot catching on fire. And let me tell you, if I were Vivek, I'd invest in some private security because MAGA loyalty is conditional. And spoiler alert, you just violated the terms and conditions of your MAGA acceptance. Vivek broke the #1 rule for approved minorities in conservative spaces. That rule is that you, as a person of color, can only attack non-white, and by non-white, black people. The moment Vivek chastised whiteness, and make no mistake, that's what he did when he said mediocre Americans. See, right there, that's a clear violation of the step and fetch rules, policies, and procedures manual for all cool. You have to state which Americans, by which American, black, you are attacking, or the otherwise assumption is that you are clearly coming for whiteness. Okay. Then he proceeded to list everything white people do outside of studying and earning their way. Vivek mentioned going to the mall. Vivek mentioned watching Friends on repeat. Child, there's no debate here. Vivek drew first blood. And he did that trying to come to the aid and comfort of Elon Musk. When Elon Musk put his foot in his mouth because they were dragging Elon on his own platform. Okay. I think he had to get Groot to go ahead and start blocking people automatically because they were on him about why you're searching for all of these non-American H-1B1 visa applicants when you have plenty of Americans here who can do those jobs. And they were providing specifics. They were providing dates and times that they have applied and never heard a response back. And maybe I just have to say, as far as those people are concerned, maybe you're not smart enough to work for him if you did not understand that he was not hiring Americans. Okay. And yes, that is what started the MAGA meltdown. Hilarity to ensue. But that was the MAGA background. So let's talk about that. So far, the notable MAGA supporters that have been swift and vocal about both Elon and Vivek. We'll start with Ann Coulter. She accused Musk and Ramaswamy of favoring foreign workers, alleging that the H-1B1 visa program suppresses American wages and exploits foreign labor. While Mike Cernovich expressed frustration, suggesting that the push for H-1B is a flawed solution to a problem created by the tech industry's own practices. This problem persisted before the tech industries. You can trace this issue way back to the late 80s. So I don't know what Mike is talking about. Maybe his high is coming down. I don't know. Now let's get into Laura Loomer. She's been ranting about Musk and Vivek all week, and honestly, it's the projection for me. Loomer criticized Musk and Ramaswamy for their stance, predicting a forthcoming rift between them and President-elect Donald Trump. Translation, she's trying to create a wedge between them because she's so many other people that are on the outs. After he got your vote, after he got your support, he's not returning your phone calls. Laura is the queen of railing against systems that benefit her while pretending to be the victim. Yes, she's one of those reverse racism people. Her filler-packed face is a metaphor for her arguments, overinflated and misshapen. But here's the truth. Their hypocrisy mirrors that of the MAGA movement at large. So I think the MAGA people are in a bit of an identity crisis, which in and of itself, to me, is white mediocrity on display. But here goes. This entire spectacle boils down to one thing: white mediocrity and its desperate need for preservation. MAGA has always been about protecting the illusion of supremacy while outsourcing the actual work to hypocrites. That's why Elon can push H-1B visas and still get applause from MAGA. According to Musk, it's not about nationalism. It's about performance, keeping the power structure intact while scapegoating everyone else. But here is the reality. It's all about cheap labor. In 2020, a study by the Economic Policy Institute found that employers that rely on America's H-1B visa program to recruit temporary employees with highly specialized skills and technical education often pay those workers well below the market wages. Let me say that again for the people who always say they've done their research. Well below the market wages. I had to say it slow this time, that way they'd catch it. But I digress. The tension doesn't start or stop at these contrasting opinions. This is about nationalism and technocracy. Sources close to President-elect Trump express worries that the public disagreement over immigration policies could fracture the MAGA coalition, emphasizing the need for unity on issues that consolidate support. President-elect Donald Trump has exhibited fluctuating views on the H-1B visa program, previously signing an executive order to limit it, but also suggesting the facilitation of legal immigration for skilled workers. Translation, Trump is waiting to see who will pay him. Who will bribe him. Let the bidding war begin, basically. Okay, that's all that's going on here. Grassroots opposition, MAGA supporters, represented by figures like Loomer, oppose H-1B1 visas entirely, viewing them as a betrayal of Trump's promise to prioritize America first. Translation, white people. But Project 2025's nuanced approach to skilled immigration faced backlash from those MAGA voters the Trump campaign courted with their anti-immigrant rhetoric, who perceived it as privileging corporate profits and foreign interests over the livelihoods of American workers, white people. Now, in contrast, the technocrats like Musk and Ramaswamy framed skilled immigration as a necessity for maintaining U.S. innovation and global competitiveness. Their arguments tied to industry dependent on highly specialized talent. And this aligned with the 2020's selective admissions policy, but clashed with MAGA's populist narrative. Translation, they're trying to differentiate immigration based off of class, the H-1B visas, whereas their base is demanding immigration be based off of race and ethnicity. The people that voted them in office are saying they want anyone who is not white to pack up their bags. They made that abundantly clear, okay? They were, what dog whistles? All I heard this election cycle was foghorns, okay? But the internal Republican debates on immigration strategy, I know I mentioned grassroots nationalism, let me clarify. Grassroots nationalism is the MAGA bros versus the technocratic pragmatism, which is your MAGA tech. The MAGA base prioritize strict immigration controls as a cornerstone of the American first, i.e. white first agenda. Translation, like I said, white first. They viewed even skilled immigration as a potential threat to the American white workers and cultural white identity. In contrast, the technocrats like Musk and Ramaswamy emphasized the economic necessity of attracting global talent to maintain U.S. dominance in technology and innovation, which at face value is complete hypocrisy nonsense, as this country has never had a shortage of workers within the tech and innovation skill set. Just greedy CEOs like Musk looking to import cheap labor from India. We've sung this song before in the 80s and up to the early 2000s, okay? We're not repeating that tune. That's what MAGA's saying. The party division, like I mentioned, figures like Loomer embodied the grassroots rejection of immigration in any form, accusing Musk and Ramaswamy of betraying MAGA principles. These divisions highlighted the difficulty of uniting the party under a cohesive policy framework. Moderates within the party struggled to reconcile the demands of the base during the campaign. Translation: the moderates are listening to the CEOs and not to the base of the party, which at this point is obviously MAGA. And what does the MAGA voter want? They want to go back to the old ways where you can be white, mediocre, and just get any old job you want, complaining about reverse racism. Ciao. But let's have some reflection here. The post-election reconciliation efforts. After the election, the administration sought to bridge these divides by promoting merit-based immigration reforms while doubling down on border security. This approach aimed to placate both technocrats and the base, but risk dissatisfaction on both ends. Translation: the brown people that come from India, good brown people, but the brown people that come from South America and Latin country, bad brown people. Black people are sitting over here looking at y'all, child. We told you so. We're past the, what is that phase? The F around to find out. We are at the I told you so phase. That's what this is. I told you. We told you so. Let's talk about the impact on party identity. The internal conflict over immigration policy mirrored broader tensions within the Republican Party, pitting the traditional conservatives against the populists and the nationalist fractions. Okay, the outcome of these debates will likely shape the party's platform and electoral prospects in 2026 and beyond. I can tell you now, 2026 is a wash. As soon as he starts deporting any Latin people, there goes the Latin vote. I know, I did videos on this. I said I was going to leave the Latin people alone because I really took them to the woodshed, okay? But Donald Trump has made the Latin community look like complete idiots, like fools, like dunces. And they're going to get their leg back in 2026. We shall see. I'm sorry, we have to, unfortunately, we have to side-eye a lot of these groups that thought the leopards were not going to eat their faces. And what I saw with the Latin community is the leopard said, hey, I got taco shells. I'm going to just put you on up in here. And that's what the leopards have been doing. The leopard. Okay, and the leopards did that with the Palestinians. I see you're still marching. You weren't marching to the ballot box on November 4th, and the ones that did, you were sitting over here trying to make a statement to prove to the Democrats, by Democrats they mean black people, to the Democrats that you can mess things up for them. But the only statement that you need to be concerning yourself is whatever statements you're going to be giving to the immigration officers, the ICE officers that's going to be escorting you to the nearest buses and then to the nearest planes and off to Palestine, okay? So that you can maybe try your protest over on the Gaza Strip. I don't think that's going to work out well for you, but you might want to pass by some of these army surplus stores and see what type of armament you can get from there. Moving right along, there is an intersection with DEI and affirmative action as it relates to this last campaign. The policy parallels both anti-immigrant and anti-DEI rhetoric grounded in critiques of systemic reverse racism, reverse discrimination. Translation: white people were mad that you were complaining, that you weren't getting a fair shot. Project 2025 explicitly sought to dismantle DEI programs in federal agencies, higher education, and private companies, framing them as antithetical to meritocracy. Similarly, reforms to the H-1B program were positioned as restoring fairness by preventing abuse and ensuring foreign workers did not displace qualified Americans. Now, the key contrast here is while DEI was attacked as a cultural imposition, skilled immigration was framed as a pragmatic compromise. This created a policy tension where opponents of DEI questioned why immigrants were considered meritocratic additions, while American workers allegedly lacked comparable opportunity. And I'm sure that the Project 2025 plans for dismantling the Department of Education will hasten the lack of those opportunities, as you hasten the lack of qualified people who have the prerequisites and the skill sets that you can only get by obtaining higher forms of education. But there is an intersection with economic policy as well. Skilled versus unskilled immigration debate. Trump's nuanced proposal to offer green cards to foreign graduates of U.S. universities aimed to balance the need for skilled labor with the protection of American workers. However, this nuance was overshadowed by broader anti-immigrant narratives. This was the campaign theme, anti-immigrant. And then they were able to get a lot of brown people, the black people, we wasn't falling for that crap. Judging by these numbers, only some people lacked common sense. I don't know what we can do with those people at this point. If your brain operates like an iPhone, just click settings, okay? Go to common sense, see the button to the right, now turn that on. At this point, I don't know what to tell you. But a lot of people fell for oh, he's talking about those people, not me. I was born here. I'm married to someone in the military. My husband is white. That's what they were thinking. And now that he got your vote and you're not getting anything in return. You're getting something in return. It's called return to country of origin. That's the return that they're thinking about. But as it relates to Vivek and Elon Musk, advocacy for expanding H-1B1 visas highlighted the economic imperative of skilled immigration, but grassroots opponents framed it as prioritizing corporate profits over domestic white job creation. Domestic job creation. And then you have the economic anxiety among the base. Anti-immigrant rhetoric tapped into economic fears, blaming immigrants for stagnating wages, housing shortages, and strained public services. This narrative found fertile ground among voters who felt left behind by globalization and automation. Okay, I have to say there's not a lot that has been automated. Okay, but Elon Musk introduced those flopping robots that, from what I understand, people paid $30,000 for a robot and all it can do is wash dishes. But okay, child, my dishwasher came with my house, but okay. Tech industry roles. The tech sector's reliance on H-1B visas underscored tensions between economic pragmatism and nationalist sentiment. Figures like Musk argued that limiting skilled immigration would hinder innovation and competitiveness, while grassroots activists accuse tech moguls of exploiting cheap labor. That's all that is. And I don't understand what innovation there needs to be. It seems like the only innovation that the Tesla Cybertruck needs is maybe a handle for a fire extinguisher or some sort of fire suppression system, or I don't know. But there's not much that could not have been done within the confines of the people that are available here now in the US that you refuse to interview because they are American and you only want the cheap labor that's coming from India. So there's that. And there are contradictions in policies. For instance, the alignment of anti-immigrant rhetoric with opposition to DEI and affirmative action created policy contradictions. Critics noted that opposing DEI for undermining meritocracy while restricting skilled immigration seemed inconsistent, as both policies ostensibly aim to prioritize excellence. But I just want to tell people like Vivek Ramaswamy, the white card does have an expiration date. We, on the Black delegation, that's not something that we can give someone, okay? But Vivek, his biggest mistake was thinking he had a white card. No, you had a temporary pass to bash Black people. That's it, that's all. The moment you critiqued white mediocrity, that pass got revoked. Ann Coulter already told you to your face, you're not white, you're Indian, and you sat there grinning like she just complimented you. The disrespect was palpable, and you said nothing. But now you're stepping on MAGA's sacred ground by calling out their cultural complacency. You're done. Elon Musk hiring Indian engineers while tearing down DEI is irony at its finest, okay? Vivek praising immigrant work ethics while appealing to an anti-immigrant base peaks delusion, and Laura Loomer accusing them of betraying MAGA while benefiting from the same systemic inequities as the cherry on the top. This is the MAGA movement eating itself alive, and honestly, it's a show worth watching, a movement imploding under the weight of its own contradiction. I never saw a leopard eating another leopard. I never thought it was possible. Here it is. I get to see it every day. It's the greatest show on earth right now. I'm surprised they're not selling tickets. It's like watching a reality show where everyone is fighting and no one realizes the producers set them up for failure. So in conclusion, the implosion of MAGA's contradictions. So what's the moral of this mess? MAGA is collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions and racism. Basically, that's it. Musk and Vivek are learning the hard way that no matter how much you pander to white supremacy, the moment you deviate from the script, you're out. They are getting the most xenophobic comments I've seen, and I'm not mad. That's the energy you put out, and now it's returning to you. And Laura, she'll keep projecting and grifting because that's all she knows how to do. She really doesn't have any skill set. Certainly, judging by all those lumps on her face, I wouldn't try to pick a good plastic surgeon for me. But for Democrats, watching this Tesla Cybertruck full of loons crash and burn, we're watching this unfold. Remember, this is not our battle. This is not not our lesson to learn. Let's say it again for the people in the back. This is not our lesson to learn. One more time for the people that's, still doing their research. This is not our lesson to learn. Again, I have to be very courteous to people that are slow, so that's why we have to play it back slow. Moving right along. I say, let those miscreants scrap. Let them fight it out while we focus on building our communities and protecting our interests. As Lyndon B. Johnson, the 36th president of the United States, famously said, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you picking his pocket. Hell, give him somebody to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. MAGA is learning that lesson the hard way. Stay focused, Democrats. Stay focused, black people. Stay strategic and let them implode. Until next time, y'all. Well, it looks like our time is up. I thank you for making the time to go through it to the end with me. Like, share, and subscribe, please, and thank you.